So welcome everyone. We are in book club. I'm just going to go into the slideshow. There we go. One more button here. There we go. Okay, so it is April the 27th. And if you want to raise your hand to ask a question, you can do the hand thing because it does pop up as a notification for me. So, or you can just jump in if you have any questions. So it's April the 27th, 2026, and we're in the sacral chakra, pages 170 to 174 in Home to the Heart. This is our book club, and we are with Jesus tonight and going deeper into Fortitude. So here we are. Yeah, and if you want to listen to the channeling, it's always through that button there, and everything is recorded, so it goes to the YouTube channel. And you can find that on my homepage, voiceoffreedom.ca. Okay. So we're just going to welcome everyone, all our friends, our galactic friends, and especially to the Mother and to the mighty archangels and Sanat Kumara, the ascended masters, our enlightened beings and beloved saints, and our guides and guardians who work overtime with us, and to Gaia for holding us. Actually, everybody is working overtime on the other side. Okay, and let's surround ourselves with the Mother's blue cloak if you feel like putting that on for clarity, for our freedom, our truth, our power is what she says it's for. It's got many uses, this beautiful blue cloak. And ask Archangel Michael to stand along the door wall, and Archangel Raphael along the next wall, and Archangel Uriel along the third wall, and Archangel Jophiel along the fourth wall, and of course Archangel Gabriel in the middle with Sanat Kumara, the golden energy, the golden ascension spiral, the scales of balance. And this is literally a healing chamber. When we work with color, color is like sound, it is vibration and frequency, it is the balance of the Mother and the Father energy. And that's what we're balancing on the planet right now within the physical form. And then it's extending out to family, especially to family, and then into community.
Get that open in the first place.
If you're struggling with any kind of doubt, call on Michael or Uriel or Gabriel, work with their colors, the blue, the silver, the gold. They really like it when we consciously ask for help. So oftentimes we just let the energy just sort of simmer because we're so used to it. But if you can consciously go, oh my gosh, I'm doubting myself, then call on an archangel. They love to help and they want to help. Sanat Kumara says we're asking the love to be anchored in our conscious waking awareness, our ascension. They want us to be really conscious of our ascension. And Jesus says you have to realize that consciousness is something very powerful, much more than a passive registering of an emotion. Consciousness is an intense creative force, not something static. Things do not remain as they are. You will notice that if you do not nourish the energy of the emotion or of your judgment about it, gradually dissipate. So we want to be really conscious when we're feeling uncomfortable. Call on the other side for help, whether it's a guide, an angel, an ascended master, call for help because they will help with the dissipation of it, and they will help you anchor in your divinity. Awareness transforms. It is the major instrument for change, yet at the same time, it wants to change nothing. Awareness says yes, yes to what is. It is receptive and accepting of all that is there. And this changes everything because it sets you free. So the more you're in the middle of your being, in your heart, in the balance of the Mother and the Father energy, in the divine qualities, understanding the laws, understanding we're going in and out of these dimensional classrooms, we're anchoring that conscious awareness into the physical form. It's really just remembering who we are. We all know this. These slideshows are just memory jogging what we already know. And Gabriel said doubt is a situational response. So we want to come out of all that doubt. So catch it and then breathe color, call in a mighty one, Michael, Rafi, Uriel, Gabriel, and just know when you're breathing the colors, you're working with healing.
Okay.
Healing your lack of self-love and lack of self-worth. So the colors are love and worth. And Jesus says, love your, yes, Lillian or Ken.
Hi. I was wondering, we often use Gabriel and Gabriel interchangeably. Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. She answers to both. She, according to Linda, she's very feminine right now, and her name is actually very feminine. It's Susanna Michaela Gabrielle. So I don't know if they got it wrong in the Bible. I don't know. But yes, she answers to anything. They can be either or, masculine or feminine. Michael often refers to himself as Michaela, which is Michaela. So they can be either. Just as you can be either. You can be masculine or feminine on the other side. So yeah, they answered everything. Not to worry. So Jesus says, my message does not change. Now you are changing because you are more fully able, capable to hear, integrate, anchor, translate, and translate into action and form what I am saying. But the core of that statement is to love yourself. So love your neighbor as yourself was a statement that he made back when he was alive. And he says the core of that statement is to love yourself. I always thought it was to love our neighbors more than self. That is the primary starting point for experiencing love. You may say, I love the mother, but how do you know the mother? You know the mother because you know yourself. You know the pattern of who you are. You may not cognitively, emotionally, mentally fully comprehend what I'm saying, although that is coming by leaps and bounds. That is the extraordinary change, but you know it because your soul, your higher self, your heart knows it. You know that you are love. So just know your higher self, your soul is a big, big, big universal self that's surrounding you, always there, and it's anchoring closer and closer. He says, if you look to the law of attraction and repulsion, you attract love, you seek love, you repulse that which is not of love. So this is another really easy way to repulse all the uncomfortable feelings. You can just say, invoke the law of attraction and repulsion, and I repulse the old energy back to source and just allow the transmuted energy to fall back down upon you. The love, because it transmutes into love. But then you have to be willing to receive. So be open to receive that love. So it begins with the love of this beautiful, remarkable, holy, sacred self, not just your spirit, your toes. So this is the physicality, your toes, your fingers, your hair, your face, your tummy. It starts with knowing and loving how you behave, what you say, what you do. And from there, you can love your neighbor, which is every single being upon the planet. So remember in the law of intention, and the intentions were anchoring in intention for our behavior, intention for what we wish to receive. So what you say, what you do, how you behave. So loving yourself, really loving how you behave, what you say, what you do. And then that love grows. And it is cyclical. It is the flow of the infinity, because as you love others, as you embrace the collective, that love grows, that the sharing of that love grows, the experience of that love grows, and you receive the love. So just think of it as an infinity sign. What you send out comes right back to you. It is the balance of the give and the take, the above and below. And in that, you know, the love of source, of Mother, Father, One. It is a trinity and it cannot exclude any element. This is the pattern of the universe, the source, you, the collective. So just think of it as loving the mother, loving the father, loving yourself. It is a trinity. And the self is really the oneness. So when you're really in love with yourself, you're really in love with the oneness. And the mother and the father are just the mother and the father. Okay. And it's not to martyr ourselves by being nice. Sometimes we can just be too nice and not be taking care of ourselves. Always make sure you're taking care of yourself. You're putting the oxygen mask on you first. You know, like when you're in the plane and the oxygen mask come down, you can't help anybody unless you're helping yourself first and to empower everyone to step up into their divine sacred purpose. And sometimes we need to step back and say no to certain things so that so we're not helping too much. We're allowing people to help themselves. So just remember, love yourself, and then that goes out to the collective. And he says, ascension is the fullness of our hearts, the rebirth of love. You know, take care of yourself, and then it flows out to others, the anchoring of love on earth. I thought that was good. And so I remember this one too. Michael says to laugh. If we're getting tangled up in ourselves, try to laugh, because if you laugh, the tangling all untangles. And he says to invoke Michael and a sword to cut all the ties that bind. So we tie ourselves up with these old belief systems. The more we're in the middle in our joy, able to laugh, we're actually helping everyone more than if we're worrying and anxious for someone. And invoke Sanat Kumara and the sacred law of intent that all fear, all limitation, all feelings of inadequacy be eliminated right now. And you can do this on behalf of others as well. But you can do it on the run, but it's good to be able to sit down and receive as well. So, and to listen, and also to know there's layers to this fear. So just keep doing it until there's no more fear and you're in that joy. So invoke this again and again. This one is really powerful. So let's do our breathing and drop down into the heart and connect with our tri-flames right now. So just breathe, the color that comes to you in through your mouth. Hold it a moment in both hemispheres of your brain, that color, and then on the out breath, drop down into your heart space, into that emerald green of your heart, and sense your tri-flame. Sense the blue of the mother as if she's giving you a beautiful hug. Pretend it's from your own mother too. We're coming into that place where we're grateful for all family members. We're in a state of forgiveness. And then work with the golden energy. Feel that beautiful hug from your father in his divinity. And breathe that gold. That is your self-worth. And then come into the middle, into yourself, as you awaken to the truth of who you truly are. So imagine your mother, your father, the father, everyone in their oneness within yourself. This is the healing for the planet. And expand that energy. And then breathe that energy and take it, allow it to just go right to source, connect to source energy. You can do this in a moment. It doesn't take a lot of time. And then connect it down to the middle of the planet, to Gaia. Give your thanks, and then come right back up into the heart space. And from here, I want you to give yourself a hug. Thank yourself for having the fortitude, the stamina, the patience to be here at this time of incredible change, all connected and united. Hug yourself and hug yourself again. Just really hold yourself and know how deeply you are cared about and appreciated. The color of fortitude is orange, and it is one of the more solid colors. Let's take a few deep breaths of orange, feeling its brightness, its clarity. Just breathe it in. You can drop it down into your heart if you feel like it. Breathe in that wonderful scent of orange, freshly squeezed orange juice. Bring it in through your nose. Bring it all the way down to your sacral, which is your tummy, your spleen, your stomach. Place your hand on your tummy. Feel that orange and that chakra opening and spinning. This is a chakra that is connected to your creativity, to our ability to create in our own lives and on Nova Earth. Breathe in the marigolds, the orange peel, the peach, the cantaloupe, the fireweed flowers, the orange tanager. breathe the orange and taste it. So all that delicious orange flavor. Breathe it in and feel yourself relaxing and welcoming in this wonderful quality of fortitude. And as you open that chakra, feel it align and activate all your other chakras, that's the whole 13, and simply be. Just allow that energy, feel the power, the strength, the courage of that fortitude in your physical being. And just know that we're anchoring in self-love, self-worth, knowing the forgiveness of everything, our joy, our gratitude. It's very sparkly energy. And with this chakra, we're embodying love, fortitude, and balance in the third dimension. So this is us in physicality. We're integrating all our aspects, and aspects are past lifetimes. And that's why the work seems like it's ongoing, the letting go, because sometimes the aspects come in and then there's more work to do from that lifetime. So just allow the letting go to be an ongoing practice. And the more we do that, we're actually helping the collective. We're in our courage, our stamina, the fortitude, embodying love. And we'll be talking about the universal law of balance when we're finished with fortitude. And just remember the pubic chakra is bright red, and the ruby red one at the base of the spine is that deep red. We're always anchoring in self-love, self-worth, in balance. So fortitude, the definition from the Council of Love, is courage in all forms, endurance, the ability to keep going forward when others cease and give up. The virtue of pathfinders, you're all pathfinders, you're all forging the way for others. Strength of purpose, stamina in all senses. Know that patience is a part of fortitude. So if you find yourself that you're impatient, sometimes we get impatient when driving, know that it's connected to fear. So check in with yourself and say, is there something that I can let go, some fear that I can let go, and then come back to your patience. Fortitude is the encompassing of forbearance, our tolerance, our restraint, and forbearance is indeed a quality that requires patience to continue going forward with stamina when you really feel like pushing the individual off the cliff. It will be required in working with 1212. 1212 is our unified field, and it came in December the 12th, 2012. So we really said yes to going forward as a collective at that time. And the vibration is orange of fortitude. It's a vibration. So there we are, strength of purpose, stamina, the fortitude, feeling like a lion, the courage of a lion can be helpful. And we're here to embody love. So now, this is quite astonishing what Jesus talks about here, because this is not in the Bible. And he's talking about his human experience. And he said, I had my beloved one, my marriage with the Magdalena, and that required fortitude on both our parts. She did not marry me blindly, but with full understanding on both our parts of what lay ahead. Yet we proceeded because even the demonstration of our love, our ability to create and co-create was important to show. I practiced fortitude with the death of my little son, and in so many ways, although I knew he had returned home, it broke our heart, and we felt that in some ways we had been forgotten or ignored. So the Magdalena and Jesus were married during their lifetime, and they did have two children. Sarah was born first, and then they had a little son, but he died when he was about 2. So unfortunately, now he says, I do not bring this up to make you cry. I bring it up because I know the challenges, the difficulties, the tests, as you have thought of them, that so many of you have faced and are facing, because what you are doing is creating an entirely new face of the planet, And that faith begins with the hearts and minds and actions of every being. This is enormously ambitious. And back in 2013, when this came through, there were 7 billion people on the planet. Now we're over 8 billion. You are far more brave than I. So I speak of this because fortitude is about staying the path. It is about endurance, even when those around you naysay. It is about putting your head down and then having it fully erect and saying, no, I know where I'm going and I know my mission and purpose. I know my star brothers and sisters are here. They're always watching over us. They have been for hundreds of years, actually. I know our governments, our institutions, our economic systems will change, and I am doing it. So this is our sacred purpose. We're the change. We're the ones stepping forward and helping with the change. I am not merely supporting it at a distance. So this is Jesus saying this. Fortitude is very action oriented. So I want you to know I do not admire you and honor you from afar. This is a difficult transition. Joyous? Yes. Worth it? Beyond what you know, but we would not pretend that it is easy. I support you, my friends, my brothers, my sisters, my family, because you are doing it in the wake of little evidence. You're doing it, most of you, or many of you, without the support of community, of family. Yes, you have your light holder community, but many of you, your families, you see, I had my family, and at times they would tell me, do not be so visible. You are just irritating the Romans. But he's saying they supported me. My brothers, my sisters, my cousins, my aunts, my uncles, my disciples, my followers, my apostles. I was surrounded by support. Did their faith waver at times? Yes. Did they return to fortitude? Yes. So what many of you are doing is very lonely. And even while it is lonely, we are saying to you, the Council of Love is saying to you, do not believe in the illusion or the false paradigm of separation or isolation. So that's why they want us to call on them for help, to cut the illusion away from us, to let it go. Because it's lonely. We can't just walk out the door often and talk to people, but we can call on the higher realms for help at any moment in the middle of the night. They love it. They're awake all the time. There's always someone. And yes, since 1212, you are in a unified grid and you may feel more connected, more united in heart and purpose than ever. You are embodying fortitude because you are often, too often for his liking, doing this alone. So when I say yes, you have your light holder community, but very few of you can walk out your front door and knock on your neighbor's door and say, I am having a crisis of faith. I feel so desolate and disappointed. Can you walk me through this? We're really lucky that we have the internet because we can call each other. Now, fortitude is the quality of wayshowers, of pathfinders, and while that is wondrous, it can also be lonely because you are showing the way. So there is really no one ahead of you or next to you other than this community that you are building miraculously. I do not wish to understate that you are bedrock in terms of your fortitude. Have some of you wavered? Yes. Maybe you have questioned your fortitude and your faith, your trust, but I do not question your fortitude. We do not question your fortitude. May you need time out? Yes, often we do. It's called a sabbatical. Perhaps most of you embody it to the point just as and you would say, I would rather die, I would rather return home. In fact, does it not seem sometimes more attractive? But I would rather not exist than to give up what I know is the truth and my ability to contribute and activate and be part of the return of love, the building of Nova Earth. It is the only reason I am here and I'm not giving up. So we all know what it's like to want to give up. But if you can get through that, then it's a big letting go of old systems as well. Mhm. So yes, that is why I mention my support, our support, but do not underestimate you are the embodiment of fortitude. Your internal compass is not only your internal guidance, your intuition, but it is balanced by faith and trust. The knowing of the shift to the fifth dimension is that sense of intuition growing stronger and stronger, more clear, that sense of knowing, not thinking, certainly not guessing, and that is something that is magnified every day within each and every one of you. So the fifth dimension is really managing change with gratitude. It's not the be all and end all. We want to be able to access all the dimensions, all 12, and end up in the seventh, actually. The seventh is the place of real unity. So we want to stay anchored in your heart consciousness in the seventh. And that is why I have mentioned as we have begun this conversation, you listen to your internal compass, that intuition, because you know when you are veering off course, when you are not true north, and it is important, if not daily, certainly on a regular basis, not just periodically, to check with yourself and just ask, am I on course? And your guidance will answer. You will sit still, really sit still and ask if you're feeling like you are, and bring yourself back to the center. Because sometimes we just go out onto the skinny branches and then we just need to a reminder, come back, come back, come back to the middle, surrender back into the heart space. Not the course that a group or your parents or your wife or husband has defined for you, not what society expects or anticipates for you or of you, but you. What do you desire? Are you in alignment with your mission and purpose? And in doing that, what you are also doing is you are saying, am I taking the most efficient path? Now I use that word efficient or planned rather than easiest, because there are times in certain people's journeys when they will climb the Himalayas rather than go through the pass, because that is their mission and purpose. And they are demonstrating or teaching that strength. But do not think or believe that taking the hardest journey is also in some way practicing fortitude. Fortitude is always tempered with your compass and with what you can manage with common sense. We are not out to destroy logic, quite the contrary. We're raising logic to a new level. You are modern day explorers, you are the adventurers, and yes, check your course, but also do not hesitate, my dear friends, to ask for directions. We can help point the way. You know. So yeah, always check in with your guides. You can call Jesus, you can call on at any time. The masters, the mighty ones, they're all so willing to help us. It's just us. We have this fear, and it comes up all the time when I do readings. We have a fear of sitting still in the heart space. We want to be busy and moving around when we're in there. But the key is to sit still. So yes, it takes fortitude. Yes, Ken or Lillian. Mhm.
Yes. I've been thinking about my lack of energy, and I realized that it is an illusion.
Absolutely. Good job. And it's usually connected to sadness too.
Hmm.
Yeah. Exhaustion. Do you feel exhausted sometimes?
A lot.
Okay. Ask why. Just ask why. What is it connected to? Any kind of discomfort, you can ask. You can ask the energy of it. Why? Why? That was a big part of my journey when mm, I was asking a million questions. When I was driving, when I was learning, when I was like, I asked so many questions that they must have had, like, I'm sure our guides just take turns because, but they want us to ask questions because then you're becoming more clear.
Do you, when you ask questions, do you then sit and listen for the answer? I stand with my hands by my side and I ask only a yes or no question, so I go either forwards or backwards or side to side. How do you ask a question? What is
That,
your
yeah, that's a great way. That's a good way. You can get yeses or no, or yes, ask the yes or no question so you can really anchor in that answer. But you can also just sit still and listen because we're practicing telepathy. So the
Mhm.
answers will come, but they don't come as English, they come as knowing. But it's not
Okay.
coming through the mind, it's coming through the heart. So that's why I say breathe and drop down into the heart and just sit there and be still. Because it's
Okay.
in the stillness that the expansion is happening. And us remembering who we are, but they can speak to us telepathically all the time. And they always are. We're just not. That's what the conscious awareness is.
Mhm.
And it's in the stillness. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. So let's just see what time we're at. Oh yeah, I finished that in record time. Okay.
Kathleen,
Yes.
I was wondering if you could talk a little more about the most efficient path.
Oh yeah. Okay. So he does go into that, doesn't he? Yes. Again, that's asking the question, am I taking the most efficient path? Am I on course? So it's really, again, it's that stillness, sitting
Mhm.
still. Like you can get answers if you go out for a walk and you ask questions. You can get answers that way. Like often the answers will come in, sometimes they'll come in through another person. Sometimes you can be walking or moving or doing something else and you'll get the aha. But it's really good to sit still and practice being in the stillness. And that's when you ask yourself, like, am I on course? Am I taking the most efficient path? And the answers come. They come as knowing.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's the practice. Because even when we're in the heart, we want to be busy. No, the mastery is either sitting in the heart with the tri-flame, because there's a lot of information embedded in that tri-flame to learn and to figure out, or fly right through the flame, through your divine spark, and sit in the golden temple, because everything you need to know is in there as well. But it's again, practicing sitting still. And
Okay. My favorite way to get questions is to answer the question before I go to sleep, and then I always have an answer in the morning.
that's another great way. But again, and think about when you're sleeping, you're going into the stillness. So that's it. And our guides can communicate with us right when we wake up. It's very easy for them. You're in that waking, sleeping, waking moment, and we've been out with them, playing with them, going to meetings all night long. We're way busier when we sleep than in human life. And right when you wake up, you're in a state where you've been communicating with them. So it's
Mhm.
easier to communicate right at that moment when you wake up.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree completely with that. Yeah.
Yes. But the key right now is to emulate that stillness in physical form. So really practicing, finding, and I find if you get a place in wherever you live and it's the same chair and it's the same time and you have a notebook, it makes a huge difference to do your sitting still. Same chair, same time with a notebook. And you're telling your guides, okay, I'm ready, I'm gonna come and I'm gonna sit still, even if it's 2 minutes. And it's like a muscle and it builds. And before long, you can sit for 5 minutes. Before long, you can sit for 30 minutes. And you're in peace and you're loving it, and your day goes so much better. I found if I did it first thing in the morning. And then what happens when you've done that consistently for a certain period of time, you're in that zone all the time and you don't have to do it as much. You're just in it.
Right.
You're
Yep.
just anchored right in it and you go about your day, you wake up in it. It's your divine alignment. And you're operating more and more and more from your heart space, from the seventh dimension of unity, where you're just loving everybody. You're grateful for everyone, no matter how they're behaving. You're just there. You can see, oh, this person's on that path and this person's on that path. And you're loving them from your heart center.
So if you're in your heart center, are you automatically in the seventh dimension?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And know that there's 12 levels. There's
Right.
12 levels to each dimension. So you can get more and more and more into the peace, love, and joy of your heart consciousness.
Oh,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really exciting knowing there's 12 levels. There is always more.
And 12 subdivisions.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And it's Jane or Stefan?
So
Did,
I'm curious about something.
yes.
Maybe you can help answer it. What happens when you get to the 12th level of the seventh dimension?
I couldn't tell you. Haven't been there.
Oh, you go to the eighth.
Nirvana.
Nirvana.
Well, we're here to be in physical form. So they don't want us to be too enlightened. If we're too enlightened, we're just not, we just poof out of the body.
Oh,
We're not even here. So they only want us to reach a certain level.
Oh.
But
Phew. Phew. That's good. That's a bit of a relief,
and when you're laughing and able to see the humor in how we tangle ourselves up in different situations, that it's much more joyful to be doing that. So say like over the last couple of weekends, readings just dropped right off. And what Archangel Gabriel recommends is, say there's a drought. She correlated it to a tribe in Africa, and there was a drought, and the water dried up. And she said, when the tribe stayed in their joy, the water came. So I had a bit of a drought of readings. So I was really focusing on being in my joy. And it was difficult, but that's what I was coming back to all the time. Keep laughing, keep going. The drought is going to end. And it did. Last weekend it was really busy. So it's like staying in your joy, practicing that, practicing being able to laugh and not get tangled up in things. That's real mastery.
Yes, not getting
Mhm. And especially when our children are, acting out because they're on their path, they know what they're doing. Remember, the Buddha told us when we were studying compassion, some of their decisions are difficult for us to understand, but they're on their path, and the more we stay in the middle, it helps them. Remember, because our energy is going directly to them. We're very tied to our children. So just keep in the joy, keep sending that love, just knowing things are going to be fine. And that's the best, that's the easiest way forward. That's bringing logic to a new level, actually. When Jesus talks about that, bring the logic to a new level, staying in your joy. Because logic, wherever that was, I can't remember where that was. Anyways, taking the most efficient path. Yeah, compass. Logic, see? It's that golden energy. Stay in the joy, being able to laugh. And sometimes it's really hard to laugh, but if you can bring yourself to that, it makes it all the old systems fall away more easily. Yes. Ken or Lillian?
Oh, I'm not sure I have a well-formed question for this. Um, now I'll get back to it maybe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they want it to be simple. They don't want it to be complicated. So what I noticed when I was learning the cards before I could go out and be a card reader, it was 9 months long, and my questions were very, very complicated. and the answers were coming in really complicated. And I was like, I can't do this. This is impossible. But what I noticed was the more questions I asked, the simpler the answers got, and the simpler everything became. So you'll notice that too. It will become simpler and simpler and simpler. So being able to laugh is very simple, but sometimes it can be very difficult. So do you see how like you want it to be a simple answer, not a complicated answer. You know you're getting the right answer if it seems simple and common
Mhm.
sense and that logic is at a new level of being really loving. Yeah. Okay, so I'm just going to go over the definition one more time because this is a good one to anchor in. It's really helpful, I found too, to memorize these definitions. I run up and down my stairs in my building saying these out loud. And I've never really met anybody but one older lady once, and the look on her face, she was quite surprised. But anyways, it's all fun. So courage in all forms, endurance, the ability to keep going forward when others cease and give up, the virtue of pathfinders. So each of you are a pathfinder. You're parting the way of the old belief systems into the simplicity of the peace, love, and joy. Strength of purpose, stamina in all senses. Know that patience is a part of fortitude. Fortitude is the encompassing of forbearance. So think you're really tolerant, you stand back, you have restraint. Forbearance is indeed a quality that requires patience. To continue going forward with stamina when you really feel like pushing the individual off the cliff. And we've all met people like that. But then we want to be in our forbearance, very tolerant and full of restraint. It will be required in working with 1212 because all the old belief systems are coming up to be released and people are tangling with each other. And yeah, it's a bit messy. Just the vibration of fortitude is orange. We see it out in the world. But if we're really untangling ourselves, and then that's going directly to family, and we're helping untangle family, if all the families were at peace, we would have world peace, basically. So that's why they say it's an individual journey, and then the energy comes out of us. Okay, so strength of purpose, stamina in all senses, and we're really the fortitude to embody love. And this flame, there is so much information embedded in that flame. If you can sit still for 2 minutes every day and really contemplate that flame, oh my gosh, it's like really, really something. Okay, and then this was what Jesus asked us to do. And in the post that I wrote today, it was like seeing the flame as your mother, as your father. So they're saying, imagine a male guide representing the paternal father energy. But what came to me was to see your own father in his divinity, and you're engaging with that. So, and then the maternal mother energy, and you're seeing them, if you've had struggles with them, in their divinity and seeing that in the heart space. And then that's the family uniting, everyone remembering their divinity. So it's just, brings balance. That's just the balance of the mother and the father and the oneness, basically. It's all embedded in that tri-flame. So contemplating that in the stillness is really, really exciting. Okay. So yes, there's the Magdalena and Jesus. They were anchoring in sacred partnership on the planet. So from their within, their balance within, they formed this partnership and they were anchoring it in physical reality. If that had been kept in the Bible, the world would be a different place. So just know that's
Why was that not put in the Bible?
probably for control
Or
because
do you
it's
think to keep the priest celibate? I was just wondering.
yeah, that and it was a very male patriarchal system that the priests were, well, not all the time, but mostly male, and then God was often illustrated as male, and
Right.
that would keep the control. and that the mother energy's been suppressed, the divine mother not so much recognized, and that's what's happening right now. The mother energy is rising in everyone. The peace is rising. Think of it as the tide is rising. The water energy is rising into equality with the sunlight energy, which it is. In nature, it is. But in the belief systems have not, they have kept the mother energy more suppressed, the gender inequality on the planet.
Right. Oh, thank you.
Yes, you're welcome. All right, so I'm just going to say thank you to Jesus. He's been super helpful. Thank you, thank you. And do ask him, know that he's right around you when we're doing this. He's always with all of us. And our star family, all the higher realms that are helping us. We're really, really grateful. And let's see what time we're at. Oh yeah, we're almost right on tonight. Okay, so let's do our sending love. And if we can send love to Brittany, Jane's daughter, the strength to keep going forward, and then also Marion, because Marion's struggling with a sore knee. So if we can send energy and clarity maybe to Marion for help with the knee. That would be much appreciated in our 10 minutes of sending.
Thank you.
Okay, you are welcome. So I'm going to set the timer and we'll see everybody in 10 minutes. Okay. Okay,
Mhm.
that's your 10 minutes. Goes by so quick now.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All
I
right.
always feel better after coming to your book club. It just is just a nice way to end a day, but it's also just a nice way to feel because my heart just feels warm. Thank you
Oh,
again.
you're so welcome. I'm so glad. That's great. I'm so happy that you come. It's really
But
nice.
I know from the East Coast moving to the West Coast, we're combining the whole country.
We are. We are. And so the West Coast is a little bit more Lemurian, more emotional, and the East Coast is a little bit more mental, more masculine. So like we're doing both. We're anchoring the energies on the planet or in North America.
Absolutely.
Marianne, I just wanted to say to you that my guides had mentioned to me that the reason your knee has been hurting is because you doubt yourself.
Because I doubt myself.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay.
So ask Archangel Michael or Yeshua, your favorite um, en entity, to help you.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. I, I, I don't know if I doubted myself. I was doing really well. I was walking a mile and a half and doing all these things. And then all of a sudden this thing cropped up and it larger and larger and larger. Now I can't walk anymore. They've said not to walk. And so all the things that I enjoy doing,
Mhm.
I can't do. So that's frustrating for me
You
because it
might.
took me 2 years to have this surgery and finally to have it and be able to do all the things I wanted to do.
So you might be on a bit of a sabbatical. Sometimes
I think.
sometimes they do that to us. Yeah, and they just want you, maybe they want you to sit still for a little bit because you're good at doing. Now they want you to come into the stillness.
Mhm. That could very well be, but that's interesting. Thank you. And that's a little bit what you said was self-doubt.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it goes back and I would check in with childhood. It's something to do with childhood. Was mom more in charge or dad more in charge when you were little?
I know, I was very independent. I was an only child and very independent.
Okay, but like between mom and dad, who was in charge?
Um, Probably my mother more than my father.
Okay. So then you want to look at the father energy and
Mhm.
self-worth. Yeah. Yeah. It's usually coming from childhood and it's unconscious, subconscious. So you're just like pulling it up.
Right.
And then you're fully capable of healing it yourself. We're in
And
that.
that's what I keep thinking.
Yeah.
I say every morning, I'm healthy, I'm strong, and
Yeah, but you got to get into the underlying belief systems.
okay, thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Mhm.
what I'm missing.
Yeah. Yeah. And deeper into the heart. Because if you get into that tri flame and you really feel the energy, that is the perfect healing. Most of us are not in there.
Okay.
So check to see if the flames are not equal. Because when I first started looking at mine, the gold one was really small, and that was my self-worth. Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. You want to see them equal, all of them, and moving. Mhm. When you see that, then that's the perfect healing.
How interesting.
Yes, it's that simple and that difficult.
Right, I'm sure.
So keep laughing.
Okay, okay. Thank you. No, I
You're
shall. I'll do my best.
Yeah, good. That's so good. Okay, so shall we meet again next week, everyone?
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Thank you, everybody,
Okay.
for the
Thank
love
you.
and support. I really
Yes.
appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay, you're
Hope
so
Brittany
welcome.
has a good week.
Thank you,
Yes.
Well, you too.
Mhm.
Thank you.
buddy.
I would like that.
Thank you.
Yes. Good. Okay.
Y'all as well. Last one. Next week it'll be May. Holy.
Wow. So
Like-
fast. We've
Like
been
you
doing
said,
this since August.
wow.
So So yes, I very much appreciate all of you. Thank you.
Sweet
Thanks,
dreams.
thanks,
everybody.
Kathleen.
Okay.
Well,
you're so
thank you,
welcome.
Kathleen. That was great.
Okay, good. Yeah, you're
Good
so
night,
welcome.
everybody.
Good
Just
night,
so you
everyone.
know,
Well,
Good night.
Peace.
night.
Peace.
just so you know, Kathleen,
Yes,
both our kiddies show up every Monday night.
I they like the energy.
Mhm.
They sense all the beings in the room all tuning in.
They're just anchoring energy, that's all.
Yep,
Yeah.
they are.
And Stefan's dogs are always here too.
Yeah, and my
Yep.
guy's
See?
snoring
Oh.
on the sofa here next to us.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Delilah's
Yeah.
over there.
Oh
Anchoring
my.
energy. Yeah.
I love it.
Are they labs or are they
No, they're Rhodesian Ridgeback.
a Rhodesian Ridgeback? Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
They're
Had a
beautiful.
big hike today.
Isn't
so
that
as
amazing?
usual.
Sleeping.
They're just so full of love.
Ridgebacks.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, have a
Okay,
great week, everybody.
thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Good night.
Take care.
Yeah, good night.
Night.